Hi, I'm Jane from Beyond the Empty Nest, Rediscover You. So, welcome to this live video. Do you feel as though you don't know who you are anymore, now that your kids have grown up? Somebody in the group posted, asked the question, how do you stop yourself sinking into the feeling that your life is over? You've lost your purpose in life. You don't recognize yourself anymore. So if that's you, then, I really want to speak to you today. Hi, Karen, thank you for joining. And it's hard, isn't it? It's a hard place to be. It is a hard place to be. And it can feel overwhelming. When our kids are small, there's meaning to our lives. There's a certainty about our role. We feel needed. There's a deep satisfaction. We love our children. We give them so much love. We pour that love out. We give our life for our children. It's our identity. As a mother, our children are everything to us, and we love them in a way that we never thought that we could have loved anybody. I remember when my son was small, in primary school, maybe in year 4, and they went off to on a trip, and it was a day trip to Kettlewell, which isn't that far from where I live. And all the mothers went, and we saw them onto the coach, and we were stood. And as we watched that coach drive away, and they were only going for the day, there were tears in my eyes. I felt that emotion as I watched my child being whisked away on that coach. And there were tears in my eyes. And, I thought, oh my God, this is ridiculous. But I looked round and all the other mothers had tears in their eyes. And, because we knew, it's like there was that feeling. It's beyond words, isn't it? It goes beyond words. It's that feeling that they're physically attached to us. And as they drove off in that coach, we felt it. We felt it. So Karen is saying that they don't have time for you anymore. I understand that, and that's hard. That is hard. And, listen to this video and see what you can gain from it, Karen. Because we have that connection with them, and they're small. And when we're in the middle of it, we're immersed in it when they're little, aren't we? We don't see, we don't kind of realise that there is ever going to be a time when it's not like that. And it's not always that our kids physically have left the nest, is it? Not always that they physically moved out. The hardest time for me, and I think, Karen, if you relate to what you're saying, is I remember when my daughter was, I don't know, about 16, and it's like she spent more time in her bedroom. She had a boyfriend. She spoke more to her friends than she did to me. And that was hard. Really hard. And I think it hits you, doesn't it? It's odd. It doesn't feel like it kind of gradually comes upon you. It's like suddenly it hits you in the pit of your stomach. And it's like, oh, and it's like a wrench, And it's like all that mothering energy that we've been giving out is no longer needed. And it feels hard, isn't it? It's like we're left feeling redundant, invisible, rejected. We feel rejected. We've given everything for our children. And it's a natural phase of life in a way, and they move on. But we can't help feeling rejected. Maybe we feel like a ship that's lost its anchor. Life has lost its joy, its sweetness. We've lost its meaning. And there's a big empty space within us. And it can lead to depression, it can lead to anxiety. So what I want to talk about is purpose. What is our purpose? And what is purpose? You know, when the kids were younger, or we got our purpose from raising our children. That was our purpose in life. And purpose is deep, isn't it? It's big. If you think about it, what is our purpose? It's more than just being busy, isn't it? And I've heard, you know, people give advice to people who, you know, are suffering from empty nest syndrome. Well, what is it that you did when you were younger? What would you like to do now? You know, maybe try something new. And that's kind of, it's great advice, but it doesn't, it's not enough, is it? It's not enough, because living our purpose is more than just being busy. It's more than just being busy. It goes deeper. And Karen, I know you're saying that you feel lonely, and I know you have you work 12-hour shifts, and that's really hard. But we have to try and find that meaning in our lives, and it's not easy. But we have to try and find that meaning, because it's big. You know, without that meaning, we feel lost. There's nothing to our lives. It's vitally important that we have that meaning, that sense of purpose. And we have to realize that this is a new stage of life, and that our kids, they will still need us in some way. We're still a parent, but they don't need us in that same way. And actually, they need to feel free, don't they? They need to know that we're happy. Because I think if we're relying on them for our purpose, we can push our kids away. And I think that maybe can happen sometimes. And they feel that they need to feel free at this time, and that we're not trying to draw them back to us, because we need that for our purpose. So how do you move forward? How do you find that purpose? How do you do it? It's not easy. It may be that you need support. I would say the first thing is to acknowledge where you are. And if you're watching this video, hopefully that's your first step. You acknowledge where you are. And we need to feel the pain. And I know that sounds hard, but we need to feel that pain to move through it. But we need to do it in a safe space. And maybe we need to do it with somebody who can help us through that. And that is what I do for my clients. I help them through that space. I give that safe space and I help them through. Because if we don't work through the pain, if we try and push it down, first of all, it comes back stronger. But it saps the life out of you. It may leave you feeling exhausted, because you're trying to kind of push that pain away. It's too painful to face, and that's understandable, but you're pushing it down. And it keeps trying to come up, and you're pushing it down. It's exhausting, and it's sapping the life out of you, and it eventually will make you ill if you keep doing that. So the first thing is to acknowledge where you are and feel the pain, knowing that you're going to move through it. And it's like, you know, when you have a chrysalis, the caterpillar that goes into a chrysalis, the chrysalis has to be uncomfortable enough for that butterfly to emerge. So know that what you're going through, if you can harness that energy, you can emerge as a butterfly. You can emerge into a new stage of your life. So realizing that being a mother to your small children was a part of your purpose, but it's not the whole of who you are. You are more than that. You are more than that. So what is your purpose? What is it? I'm going to give you an answer, and it might not be something that you might think, well, that's not much of an answer, but bear with me. So your purpose, I feel like I need a drum roll. Your purpose is to find your authentic self and live it. Your purpose is to find your authentic self and live it. Now, I can't tell you what your authentic self looks like any more than I can tell you what love looks like. But I can tell you that you will know, you will feel it when you found it. You will feel, you will know that it's right because you will recognize it. It's part of you. It will be like coming home. It will fill your heart with joy. You will feel lit up. You will feel a passion when you find that authentic self. And every wisdom tradition teaches us this, that it is inside you. And you may not think it is, but it is in there. I know it's in there. And, you know, I heard a story, somebody told me that it's like having a diamond. You are a diamond. Beautiful and shining and brilliant. It's just such a treasure. But what happens in life is that because of all the stuff we go through, because of the messages that we pick up in life, we end up covering that diamond in, I'm going to be polite here, horse manure. It's all that stuff, all those feelings, that, hi Jan, it's all that stuff, there's feelings, that pain and the loneliness and the grief and all the messages that we tell ourselves that we're not good enough and not lovable. And, you know, I've shared before my own story that I decided very young that I wasn't lovable. And all that stuff, it's like that horse manure that's covering that diamond. It covers the diamond. But it doesn't look very nice, does it? And it smells and it's horrible. So what do we do with that horse manure? We cover it in, it's like the equivalent of covering it in nail polish. We paint over that horse manure in nail polish so that to the outside world we kind of look okay. But that nail polish is not who we are. It's a pale imitation of who we are, and we know that. We put on a front because we don't want people to see who we are. We don't want people to see that horse manure. And what we need to do is to peel away the nail polish. Now that can make us feel very vulnerable, because when we peel away that nail polish, we can see the stuff that we don't want others to see. We don't want to see it. The horse manure, the stuff, our feelings that we've, you know, all the messages that we've had about not being good enough, all the emotions, feelings. We don't want people to see that. We hide it, but we have to strip it away. And then we find a way, and this is, again, where I can help you. We find a way to release and all that horse manure. We release it, we let it go, and we see that diamond that we are. That is who we really are. That is our purpose. Because our purpose is to find that light within us and find that authentic self. And then you don't need anything or anybody to feel that your life is worthwhile, to feel like your life is not a waste, because you've tapped in to your authentic self. So I hope that makes sense. And, you know, when hi Elaine, hi everybody, thank you for joining me tonight. Good to know I'm not talking to myself. When I first started on this journey of self-discovery, I couldn't see that diamond within me. I couldn't see that light. I had no idea it was there. I had no idea, even if I did, where to start to uncover it. But my mentors, my teachers, they knew. They could see that light within me. And I think somewhere subconsciously I knew that. And that's what drew me to them. That's what kept me going when it was tough. I kind of didn't know that was what was happening at the time, but that was what was happening. And I can see your light. The chances are, if you're watching this video, that you're drawn to it in some way. There's something about it that you're drawn to. That subconsciously you know that it's the way forward for you. You may not know why or how or what, but you're drawn to it because something about it is speaking to you. And I can see your light because I've seen my own light. And I'm not, bragging. There are times when the horse manure comes back and, but I've got a glimpse of that diamond. And I know that diamond and I've seen it. And it's the same for us. It's the same light. And I see it in the people I work with. I see it in my students. I see it in my clients. So I know that light is within you. And sometimes you just need somebody to hold that vision of yourself and say, this is that light. And it's like the light at the end of the tunnel. And to show you the way to get to that light. And that is the journey. That is the journey that we're on, to get to that light. And when we find that and we live our authentic self, that's when we live our purpose. And we don't need our children to give us that purpose. They can be free to do their own thing. We will live our purpose. We will be drawn to the things that we want to do, the things that warm our hearts, that fill us with joy. We will be drawn to those things because we will have found our way to our authentic self. And then what happens is, because you don't need your children to give you that purpose, because you found your purpose, your strength, your power, and you're living it, then you will create an amazing relationship with your kids, with your children, because it will be a different relationship based on being adults, on being equals. And they will be drawn to you because they will feel that you're not clinging. You don't need them for their purpose. You're living your life, your purpose, and you've got everything you need inside you. Every tradition, every wisdom tradition teaches that. And so you will be able to be drawn to the things you want to do. So it won't be a matter of being busy and just filling your time with meaningless things. It will come from a place that's deep within you. And that's important, because if we haven't got that meaning in our lives, it loses its sweetness, it loses that joy, it loses meaning. We feel maybe, my life's a waste, what am I doing? But we can get to that place. It takes work. It takes being open. It takes being vulnerable. It takes finding somebody who can take you through that process. And I can take you through that process. I've done it for other people. I've done it for myself. I can do it for you if you're prepared to take that step and be vulnerable. Remove that layer of nail polish. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you've just joined me, then you can listen to the video later and I talk about how we cover our real jewels, with first of all the manure of the horrible feelings that we feel, and then we cover that in nail polish to hide those feelings. So it takes uncovering and being vulnerable. It takes prioritizing yourself and making that time to do it and putting in some energy. But what's the prize? The prize is living your purpose, is living in joy, is feeling that meaning in life. And you can find that again. You can. It's just making that step. So if you've really resonated with what I'm saying, and if you're ready to take that step, if you're fed up of pushing your feelings down, of battling your feelings, of feeling you've got the life sucked out of you, and that life is meaningless, if you're fed up of that, and you're ready to take that step forward into that meaningful life where you connect with your authentic self, then please message me. We can talk. We can work out how we're going to move forward. So I urge you message me. I look forward to receiving your messages. And I can get you the results that I've got other people that have worked with me and that I've got for myself with guidance, with mentors. So I'm so touched that you all joined me tonight. Thank you so much. I want to honour you for taking this step forward. And I really want to say that I see all the light within you all. And I wish you a beautiful evening, strong, beautiful women. Thank you so much. Lots of love.